Back in the woods. And you know how much I love these grasslands. They're just waiting to get me wet. It's a beautiful day. Look at that. It's unfortunate that I'm carrying a wet tent right now, but it wasn't so saturated. It's 8:42. I had time to upload another video, so I did. There's only like 45 miles of trail in Connecticut, so I'm going to be in and out quickly. Like I said, it's either going to be a 17 or a 28, and that would depend on how long it takes me to get to this shelter. There's a shelter at 10 miles. No, there's a shelter at 8 miles, and then there's another shelter at 10 miles. And as you know, yesterday that terrain was terrible. It took me like 7 hours to do 11 miles. So it depends, you know. Like I said, man, I'm cool. I'm not hiking on nobody's schedule. I'm gonna let the terrain do what it wants to do to me, and at the end of the day, if I decide to stop, I'll stop and give me the opportunity to dry my gear out. So we're gonna play it by ear out here. First day of summer was yesterday. Now the heat starts. Humidity. Going up. Look at the vastness. Wide open. I can't remember the last time I made a fire. I can't remember the last time the conditions were agreeable for fire, and I can't remember the last time it was actually legal to make a fire. I'm crossing through state after state where they say, can't make a fire here, and you just sit there looking stupid. I don't understand it. If you can make a shelter, you can make a fire pit. I mean, it's all right there. It's unfortunate, but I would like to make a fire at some point again, but as you know, it rained last night. Whole trail is wet right now. I don't know. It's just, fire is part of the camp experience, you know? And when they take that away from you, it just leaves you, I don't know. But to be honest with you, that's the reason why I'm doing so many miles. I mean, it used to be, I have no problem getting in the shelter around 3 o'clock, making a fire, reading a book, chilling. But if you can't make a fire, what's the point in sticking around? I mean, if I'm not going to take a nap and I can't make a fire, I may as well just keep hiking. But understand, it's more of a forced road march. It's not something I want to do. I want to have the whole experience, and the whole experience is making fires and, you know, letting the place feel homely and warm. And I'm not going to blatantly make a fire when it's saying don't make a fire and then show you on camera. I'm not a maverick. I'm not trying to break the rules. But I'm just saying, you know, I'll be glad when it gets back to the usual where, hey, you can make a fire, you have enough smoke to keep the bugs away, you can enjoy your meal without slapping at mosquitoes, you know? Out here. Connecticut is much like New York. You won't hear me tell you that Connecticut's easy, even though there's only 40 miles in it. You're still going up mountains and down mountains. And let's not forget, it took me 7 hours to cover 11 miles the other day. And I was all in Connecticut at the time. So you just have to respect the trail, period, out here. I went to a small stream to get water, and it had an orange tint to it, so I threw it out. So I guess in that respect too, Connecticut is a lot like New Jersey and New York. Now I'm no, you know, I'm not here testing this water. I can't tell you if it's good or bad. I can only tell you I'm not drinking no orange water, period. So I'll see what's up at the shelter. One more reason why you always hike with water, you know. I don't know who these people are to think they're just gonna walk through here with no water at all and then start drinking orange water and purple water. I don't know. Whew. That shelter should be coming up soon. The reason why I'm sweating is because I'm pushing. I mean, I don't mind. This is a good exercise for me. It's like a morning run. So I like a good burn out here. About a mile down, I came to this water source, and as you can see, the water is clear. There's no orange tint or anything. This I'll drink. The moral of the story is, if you come across some water you don't like, just keep on hiking. It'll probably be a better source at the shelter or along the way. Just you know, test it and drink out here. I don't know if you can appreciate just the sight of seeing rocks or trees growing out of rocks. I mean, the tenacity of nature, you know? It's like small little roots digging into just whatever crack they can find, and as they grow, using their own weight and bulk to move the rock a little bit more and more to get more purchase, until this is what you have. What appears to be a tree growing right out of a rock. See, that right there is it's just admirable, man. It's a testament that hard work really can pay off. But we both know that it's still a luck of the draw, even with that, when you give your all. But it's worth the effort. That's what I get from this. It's worth the effort. You gotta try. Yeah.
Drowning in electronics, so I was like, all right, I can do like 5-6 weeks on like a total, not total diet.
These are new trees.
Let me get out of your picture.
Yeah, you're good. This is checkpoint Alpha, 10 miles in, actually 8 miles in. 10 more miles to the next shelter. I've come to a decision. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stay at this shelter. It's just going to be an 18-mile day. I'm going to dry my tent out because it's still wet, and I'm going to chill. The main reason for me doing this is because I got a late start. I told you I'm a morning person. I'd rather start hiking around 6 o'clock. For me to do 28 miles, that'll put me where I need to be too late at night. So I'm gonna let that go. And for the record, the terminus of that 28 miles was not a hostel, as you were. It was not a shelter, but it was a road where a hostel owner will come pick you up and take you to their place. It's like I told you before, I prefer to get into places early so I can have the day to relax and whatnot. Me getting it picked up and taken to a hostel at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, what's the point, you know? This particular hostel supposedly does breakfast and dinner, and it's all the rave. Everybody's talking about it. The only down part is it costs $50. So my attitude is, I'll be the judge of how great it is, and I'll see what's up. So with the new plan, I do 18 miles today. Tomorrow, I do another 6 miles to the road, which would have been, 8 miles to the road, which would have been 28 miles for today. But so tomorrow's going to be an 8-mile day, You call the people, they supposedly are gonna come pick you up and take you in. So we'll see what happens. And I will keep you posted out here. If anybody tells you Connecticut's easy, they are lying to your face. Whew. There are some respites, I'll give you that. But Connecticut is whooping my butt, I tell you what. As you know, it's been raining real bad. So down at the bottom of that hill, the river was pretty much flooded. It was bloated, so there was a reroute. Some hikers took the reroute. Other hikers chose to take their boots off and ford the water. I took another route. As I approached the river, I was looking to my left, and I can see down trees that are falling across the river. I got good balance as far as I'm concerned, so when everybody started stripping, I just backtracked to the fallen tree and shimmied across. I pretty much stayed dry. It's probably one of the more dangerous routes, but I stayed dry, and like I said, I trust my balance. I'd rather have my shoes on under me than slipping on some slick rock with moss and whatnot and falling in the water with all my electronics. Somebody mentioned something about river crossings and how many are there. There's only one in Maine. But what you have to worry about are the creeks that are over flooded, because you won't respect the creek. You'll say something like, it's just a creek, that's no big deal, those are little bitty rocks, and then tragedy strikes. So you know yourself. So either go take the reroute. There hasn't been a treacherous creek crossing where they didn't give you the option to take the reroute. So it's on you. If you feel you want to go swimming, then take your shoes off and take your chances, or you can take the reroute, or you can do another way, as you know, find your own way across. So there you have it. Out here. By the way, I apologize that I didn't have the presence of mind to document it as it happened. But there was a lot going on and I was focused. I needed my concentration to figure out how I was going to do it. I didn't even think about recording it or anything. But prior to me crossing, I did get footage of the river. You saw how wide and how mean it was, swollen, so to speak, out here. You will not find a shortage of creeks to quench your thirst. And Lord knows, I've been drinking a gallon of water out of every single one of these. Matter of fact, it's time to drink again out here. Now that I have a clear head, okay, this isn't the creek, but think about it. Say this creek was overflown and you couldn't go across with these rocks. This tree right here is something like what it was before. The creek was flooded, but there was a tree laying across, and I just went across the tree. And then you have another tree right there laying right next to it. For what it's worth, if you trust your balancing skills, that's always an option. And I've never come across a creek that didn't have at least one or two trees laying across it at some point. There's no going around that. You gotta squeeze through. Whew. 10 miles later, this is 18 miles, which is the shelter. It's 4:30, and believe me, it was a hard hike. If I would have gone on to do 28, I probably wouldn't have got finished till later, real late. How you doing? I'm good.
Like a viper head or something.
We don't know what this snake is, but it's not your typical black snake. And it does look poisonous enough. A nice fat one too.
Uh-huh.
He looks like he means business.
Yeah, he wasn't too pleased with me walking back. He said, "Oh, sorry."
Yeah. Well, he makes for good. I used my bleach for the 3rd time on this water source in particular. And that's just to say, what, I've been out here for almost 3 months and I only used bleach 3 times. So, just letting you know. I mean, I haven't fallen dead yet. So if you want to carry a water filter for peace of mind, that's fine. But a little bit of bleach, some common sense. Well, I don't like to use the word common sense, but a little bleach and a lot of knowledge, you'll be all right out here.